Good morning students, welcome to Noor Alam's Maths Academy. Today we are going to continue our lecture 2 on the topic of theory of probability. In the last class we have done the sample space. Now after that we have the definitions of event. Now what is event? Event is what? A subset of sample space. Event is a subset of sample space. Subset of sample space. Suppose example is, if you throw a die, then you have the sample space as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You want to take a subset of this set like A, which contains suppose set of all even numbers from these sample points 2, 4 and 6. Now all the points which present in A coming from the set A. So we call A is the event. Okay. Now next definition is simple event. Event is classified into two parts. One is the simple event and it is also known as elementary event. Elementary event. What is elementary or simple event? An event containing one outcome. An event containing one outcome is called simple event. An event containing one outcome is called simple event. Is called simple event. Example, suppose we take this example. When we throw a dice, we get this sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if we construct a event like that, A is equal to, we want only even prime number, that is 2. So now here the event contain only one point, that is one outcome of the sample point. So therefore simple event is what? An event containing only one outcome. So therefore another event is called composite event. Composite event, it is also known as compound event. Compound event. Now what is compound event? An event containing more than one outcome. More than one outcomes is called composite event. Is called composite event. Okay. So now if we consider our sample space of throwing a die contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if we form a subset or event like we want only the outcomes which are greater than 4, the number or the outcomes which are greater than 4. So we have only 5 and 6. If we construct the another event, that is the set of all odd number from these sample points, so we have 1, 3, 5. Now we see that in both the cases A and B, the number of outcomes is more than 1. So this event is known as composite event. Okay, this event is known as composite event. Okay. So now next we go for the definitions of probability. That is called classical definitions of probability. Okay. Point number 4, that is 4 part 1 definition. Definition of what? It is the classical definitions of probability, or you can say that theoretical definitions of probability. Classical definitions of probability. Probability. Let the sample space S of a random experiment of a random experiment E be finite, and let the sample space S of a random experiment E be finite, and if all the simple events connected, to E be equally likely, then the probability of the event, or the probability of any event A subset of S is defined by probability of A is equal to m by n, where m is equal to number of distinct means distinct elements in A. N is equal to number of distinct elements in S. So this is the classical definitions of probability. Okay, now in these definitions we observe two important things, that is, the sample space of this random experiment must be finite. The sample space of this random experiment must be finite, one, and all the simple events connected to the random experiment be equally likely. Okay, so now these two term is very important. If these two conditions violated, then this definition we cannot apply. So definition is what? Let the sample space S of a random experiment E be finite, and if all the simple events connected to the random experiment E be equally likely, then the probability of any event A, the event A is the subset of S, is defined by probability of A is equal to m by n, where m is what? Number of distinct elements in our event A, and n is the number of distinct element in S, that is, n is the total number of points in our sample space S, and m is the total number of points in the considered event A. Okay, now here if the set is not finite or the events are not equally likely, then we cannot apply the classical definitions of probability. Okay, now one important result from these definitions we can deduce. Now what is the result? One important result. Result is what? We see that m is what? M is the distinct outcomes of the event A, and n is the total number of distinct outcome in or distinct element in the sample space S. So that means we see that m always less than equal to n and more than equal to 0. So number of elements, since coming from the main set S, so therefore, and A is the subset of S, so therefore number of elements either equal but not more than n. For example, if you have the sample space containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so if you want to make a set A subset, so then you can't take any point outside of this set. So whatever the you get, the number of element must be maximum 6. If you select all these 6 number here, so therefore number of elements in A will be 6 if you take all the elements. If you take any number less than 6, suppose 1 2, if you take, therefore number of elements in A should be 2. If you take only 3 4 5, the number of elements in A should be 3. So now if you don't take any elements, then there is no number you select for the set A. So we can see that the number of elements in A vary from 0 to n. Maximum it can have n number of elements and minimum 0. Okay, so now we can divide this inequality by n, and we know that n cannot be 0. If you do some experiment, you must have some result. So n is not equal to 0, that's why you can dividing by all sides by n. So you get 0 by n less than equal to m by n and less than equal to n by n. So now m by n is what? It is the definition of the probability of the event A, and by cancelling you get 1. Here you get 0 by n is 0. So this is the range of the probability. When you find the probability of any event, it always lies between 0 to 1. So maximum value of the probability of any event will be 1 and the minimum value will be 0. And the more than 1 and less than 0 is not acceptable, is not allowed. So therefore range for the probability, we see that it is only lying between 0 to 1. Lying between 0 to 1. Okay. So now after that what we see, for part 2, here we find the probability of the event A is equal to m by n, where m is 1, m is the total number of a distinct element which present in the set A or in the event A. Okay, now if we are going to find the probability of not A, not A means what? If you are going to find the probability of not A, then we see that the total number of element which present in the set A must be n, and if the favorable cases or the number of element which present in A is m, then not in A, the number of elements which not present in A must be n minus m. For example, यहाँ देखते हैं, suppose As you have 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6. So if you say A contains 1 and 2, so not A, the elements which not present in A are except 1 and 2, that means 3 4 5 6. So same logic we apply here. If S contain n elements and A contains m element, so not A contains n minus m elements. Is it clear? Hope all of you understand this. So now n minus m we have for the element probability of not happening of A. So now we are going to add this. Now adding these two equations, so adding 1 and 2, 1 and 2, adding 1 and 2, what we see that now probability of A plus probability of not A is m by n plus n minus m by n. Take the LCM n, so you have m plus n minus m. N and cancel, you get 1. So now here not A, in mathematically we use a symbol like this. Probability of A, probability of not A is written as like this. Okay, so it is not A, it is called the A complement. Okay, so it is 1, where A is, you can say that not A, or A complement. Okay, A and A bar are called the complementary event. A and A bar are called complementary event. Okay, so now we see that when we add probability of any event with its probability of its complement, we always get 1. So this is one of the important result that we use in our problem. Probability of A plus probability of A complement is always 1. Now if you want, you can by an easy example you can verify it. Okay, so now suppose if you take one example. What is the example? Take a throwing a dice. So sample space you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, now probability, you consider one event. Event is what? You want a number which is even prime number. So you have only 1, 2. Okay, so probability of A by definitions. Now how many element present in A? Only 1. How many elements, distinct element present in S is total 6 element, so dividing by 6. Okay, now probability of A complement, that means you are going to find the probability of an event which does not contains 2. So A complement contains how many elements? Except 2, 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there are 5 elements, so you have 5 by 6. Now add these two events, probability of A plus probability of A complement, so you get 1 by 6 plus 5 by 6. When you add, you get 1. Okay, now we go for the next definition. Next definition is 4 part 3. Suppose we are going to define a term odds in favor of event A. Odds in favor of A. So how can we define? Definition of an event, definition of a term which is called odds in favor of the event A. If you define this term, this is nothing but simply you can write as, this term has the definitions probability of A is to probability of A complement. This ratio is known as odds in favor of A. Now another definitions, 4 part 4. Definition is what? Odds against of event A. Now definition is what? It is nothing but a ratio, probability of A complement is to probability of A. This is the definitions. Okay, hope you understand this. Now after this, we have to define two more terms, that is you see that the probability of any events lying between 0 and 1. We know this fact. On depending upon this fact, we define two more terms. Now definitions of impossible event. Impossible event. What is impossible event? Impossible event. Now an event of a random experiment, an event of a random experiment is called impossible event if it can never happen in any performance if it can never happen in any performance of the random experiment under identical conditions. Okay, so now what is the definition says, what's the definition says, we have to explain it. I'm going to explain it by using one example. So now an event of a random experiment is called an impossible event, is called impossible event if it can never happen in any performance of the random experiment under the identical conditions. Suppose we are using like this, we are throwing a dice, so we have the sample space 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now you are going to define one event. Suppose a event that you want a number which is 7, which is 7. Suppose you want 7. Okay, so when you throw a dice, and you are expecting 7 will come, is it possible? It is not possible. So therefore this kind of event is called impossible event. The probability of A is 0 dividing by 6, 0, because you define in this way. When you throw a die and you are expecting an outcome will happen, an outcome which is 7, but you see that 7 is not present in your sample space, but you defined an event 7. And suppose another example I am giving you. Suppose if you throw a dice, these are the sample space, and you defined an event that you want 3.5. So when you throw a dice, at any moment how many times you throw, 3.5 will never appears. So therefore at any stage, if you perform the random experiment, you never get 3.5. So therefore by 6, therefore 0. So therefore it is the definitions of impossible event, and in case of impossible event, the probability of the impossible event is always 0, always 0, because this happened will never happen in any performance of the random experiment. Okay, now we are going to define next definition. Now definition is number 5, that is called COR event. Now next definition, what is COR event? 4 part 6, that is called COR event or certain event. COR event, an event of a random experiment, is called COR event, is called COR event if it happens every times, if it happens in every performance, if it happens in every performance of the random experiment, under identical conditions. So now what is the definition of COR event? An event of a random experiment is called a COR event, if it happens in every performance of the random experiment under the identical conditions, Now suppose you are throwing a die. Example, you are throwing a die, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 will come, and you defined a event like any number which is less than 7. So you want any positive integer less than 7, less than 7. This is your event. Now sample space containing 1 2 3 4 5 6, and you having the event any positive integer. When you throw a die, you want any positive integer less than 7. So when you throw the die, any number which appears on the upper face or the outcome, all the numbers are less than 7 and the positive. So therefore we see that probability of A, so in your case, your how many points in A? All the points 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So therefore probability of A, how many points of the sample space contains 6 points, and how many points are present in A? Always 6 points. So cancel out, we get 1. So what we see that in case of a COR event, the probability of the COR event is always 1. Probability of the COR event is always 1. Okay, now next thing that we are going to define is equally likely event. Equally likely event. What does it mean? Equally likely events. Suppose two events are there, A and B. They have the same chances of occurrence. That means probability of A is same as probability of B. So this is called equally likely events. So two events A and B are said to be equally likely when they have the same probability. When they have same probability, or the two events are said to be equally likely events when they have the equal chances of occurrence. Okay. Now in case of tossing a coin, example, in case of tossing a coin, what we see that sample space containing head and tail, and if the coin is fair, so we see that the chances of occurrence of head is same as the tail. So probability of head is same as probability of tail. So the events in this case are equally likely events. Okay. Now another example, when you throw a die, so what happened? You get the sample space as 1 2 3 4 5 6. So therefore the any number, suppose probability of 1, probability of 2 or probability of 3, if you take any simple event, then its probability is always same. So here is we don't give any priority to occurrence. Okay, मतलब हम लोग यहाँ पर 1 2 3 4 ये जो आएंगे इसके ऊपर हम लोग कोई प्रेफरेंस नहीं दे रहे कि A सबसे ज़्यादा टाइम आएगा या 2 आएगा. The all the events have the same chances of occurrence. That means if you consider our die is fair, die is unbiased, so in that case the probability of 1 is same as probability of 2, is same as probability of 3, is same as probability of 4, is same as probability of 5, is same as probability of 6. Okay, all the events have the same probability. Now question is, all the random experiment must have the equally likely events? That is the question. Does all the experiment, it is necessarily that all the experiment have the equally likely events? Now we explain it with the example. Suppose we consider one example. Suppose there is a bag. In this bag there are 4 red ball and 2 white ball. Now you see that when you take a ball from the bag, when you take a ball, any one ball from the bag, what you see that the chances of red ball coming to your hand and the chances of white ball coming to your hand is not same, because you see that number of red ball is more than the number of white ball. So coming out of the number of red ball, that means occurrence of the red ball having the more chances than compared to the white ball. So in that case we see that the probability of red ball is not equal to probability of white ball. तो रेड बॉल आने का चांसेस वाइट बॉल आने के चांसेस के बराबर नहीं है. तो इन दिस केस द probability of red ball is not equal to probability of white ball, so they are not equally likely events. But if you take probability of any ball when you draw from the bag is always same. So probability of any ball drawing from the bag is fixed, that is equal to 1 by 6. So the probability of any ball drawing from the bag is the equally likely event, but the probability of red ball is not same as the probability of white ball. So in this case, these two events, drawing a red and the drawing a white ball, are the unlikely event. They are not equally likely events. Okay, but the probability of drawing any one ball of any color, probability of drawing any one ball of any color is equally likely. Is equally likely. Is it clear? Now in this chapter, when we solve the problems, we assume that events are equally likely. Elementary events are equally likely. Okay. Now next is point 5. So you have to remember one or two more important things when we do the problems on probability. That is 52 cards. Now there are 52 cards in the playing cards. So these 52 cards divided into 4 parts. These 52 cards divided into 4 parts. Okay, or 4 suites. 4 suites. So there are total 4 suites. Okay, 4 denominations are there. Okay. So now what are these denominations? What are these suites? One is called diamond. It is called diamond. Now another shape look like this in the playing card. It is called heart. Okay. This shape is present. It is called spades. And this shape is present. It is called clubs. Okay. Now each suites, each category contains the 13 cards. Total 13 cards. 13 cards, 13 cards and 13 cards. When you add them, you get 52 cards. Okay. Now you know that heart is always red. So this has the red color. This is of red color card. Diamond is also of red color card. Spade is of black color. And clubs is also black color. Okay. So now in these 13 cards, for all the 13 cards, you see that there are few cards which has faces. That means the cards, 13 cards are divided in this way. One king, in every 13 cards you see one king is there, one king, one queen, one jack, and so one king, one queen, one jack and one ace. Okay, these 4 cards are present in every 13 cards, and after that you have suppose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 written cards in 10 written cards. So now how many cards are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 4, 13. So in each 13 cards, in each suites, the cards are like this: one ace, one king, one queen, one jack, and after that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now here you see that these 3 cards, king, queen and jack, these 3 cards has the faces. Okay. So next definition is face card. Definitions of face card. Face cards. So face cards definition is what? Suppose it is 5 part 1, it is 5 part 2. So now face cards, the cards which has the face. So now king, queen and we have jack. These 3 cards are called face card. How many face cards are there? So in every denominations one king is present. So there are 4 denominations, 4 suites. So we have 4 king. So therefore king, number of king is 4, number of queen is 4, number of jack is also 4. When we add, so we get total 12 cards. This 12 card is known as face card due to they have the face. Now other term 5 part 3, that is called honor card. Honor card. What are the honor cards? Now including this face card we have ace also. तो फेस कार्ड्स प्लस एसेस, तो फेस कार्ड प्लस एसेस, ace cards are called together honored card. So how many honored card we have? Face card total 12, and total ace card how many? One is for diamond, one is coming from heart, one is of spades, and one ace of clubs. So there are 4 aces. So thus we have 16 honor cards. 16 honor cards. Okay. 16 honor cards. Now theoretical portion that is given in the NCERT books we have completed. In the next class we will start the problems from the exercise, and I expect that all of my viewers, my students must watch my videos and ready for the exercise. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.